So Handmaid's Tale, a Hulu series based off the book from 1985 by Margaret Atwood, which, warning you, I did not read. So this is coming from someone who hasn't read the book, but read a bit about the book. So I went into the show blind. And let me just say, men need to watch this show. From all my guy friends I've suggested this to, they're always like, oh, is it girly? Does it take place way back in the day, like a Downton Abbey thing? Which I thought it would, and it does not. It takes place in modern time, which makes it so much more interesting. It's not what you think it is. The title does not serve it any justice. This has to be the most intense show I've watched in years, and dark, so I hope more people catch on to it. The Emmys clearly helped to get more attention to it, but it still needs that extra push. And it's so impressive because this series won 8 out of 13 Emmy nominations, and it's the first series off of a streaming platform to win the Outstanding Drama Series award. So it's a game changer in the industry for sure. And Elisabeth Moss, clearly deserving, won the Lead Actress Award. And Ann Dowd, who we know from Leftovers, plays Aunt Lydia here. She was nominated for Supporting Actress and won it. But Samira Wiley was also nominated, well deserving as well. Pretty much everyone in this cast was deserving of getting nominated for something. And the writers and directors and the cinematographers. I watched it after the awards season, so I knew about all these awards. I was like, all right, let's see if it lives up to this. And it completely does. It is a acting powerhouse from left to right. Everyone brings it here. In the writing, the vibe of this show, there is tension the whole time. You're on the edge of your seat. Again, a title like this makes you think it's going to be boring and a snore, but it's the complete opposite. It's the most suspenseful thing I've watched this year. It had that David Fincher feel to it, where it had a dark tone to it, a lot of blues and greens, and it's just creating anxiety when you're watching it and what's going to happen. Has a sense of mystery to it. It's got all the ingredients for great television, and it really doesn't let go. And the characters were framed brilliantly, especially Serena Joy. This is Weatherford, played by Yvonne Strahovski, who I loved from the show Chuck on NBC if you ever saw that. She was the lead actress on that, which was a more goofy show. So it was surprising to see her in a show like this, and she was awesome. A great villain. She almost reminds me of your classic female Disney villain. It's done so well here. She's such a complicated character, and she played it brilliantly. And her scenes are some of the most enjoyable. But to the framing point of it, every shot had meaning to it, and the way they portray her, where her face would mostly be in the corner sometimes, and then with Elisabeth Moss's character, Offred, you were kind of always getting shots from her perspective because she was telling the story. So it's also very artistic, the show, and it's not in a pretentious way. It's more in a, no, this makes sense for the story and this is completely necessary. What put this show above the rest for me this year was 4 standout scenes for me. This is stuff that's top level in history of anything cinematic. So the first scene for me was when Emily is found out to be in a same-sex relationship with a Martha. She gets punished for that, and they decide the Martha that she was seeing is going to get hung. The faraway shot from pulling away in the van from Emily's perspective and the birds flying by right when Martha got hung and killed had me in awe. Like, it does not get better than that. And it was heartbreaking, horrifying, very, very disturbing. Then I love the scene when the handmaids are in the dining hall and they bring in all the kids that they've created, and you realize that the handmaids are actually going to be traded to Mexico. And they're watching all these kids that they made going to these awful people, and they lost their former kids, the kids they just made. It's heartbreaking. But the way the whole scene is shot, the lighting, the setup, everything, it couldn't have been done better. And of course, one of the best was in episode 9 when Janine is on the bridge with the baby and she's about to jump. Those shots were chilling, and there were so many different angles they took at this, from really far away, time of day it was, from every character's perspective at points, seeing her. I didn't want the scene to end. It was so well done. And Offred going and talking to her, they really fooled me because I thought she convinced her to come down, and then she gives her the baby, and then Janine jumps. But the best scene to me this season, I don't think any scene has ever made me feel this way. I don't even know how to describe it, but when Offred is losing it in the back seat of the car and just screaming her heart out at Serena Joy and calling her all of these words and then saying she's just pure evil. Oh my God. That was definitely the lock for Elisabeth Moss winning the Best Actress award, because I have never seen anger portrayed in full-on hate for someone so well done till that scene. I actually had a tear coming down my eye, but I also felt like adrenaline, and I felt scared. And it was like all these emotions she was portraying in one feeling that you were feeling, and she made it perfectly clear where she was and got out what you were thinking too. So it was so awesome how they did that, and her just trapped in that car moving around, and Serena Joy just chilling back, really not caring. Oh, made you hate her so much. Like, at that point you're like, I just want her to get killed. Screw her. I really could not get enough of any scenes with the commander or Serena Joy here. I thought they were both perfectly cast. Because if you've seen American Horror Story Asylum, Joseph Fiennes was in that as well. And he plays that perfect mysterious type and creepy type. And he just played the commander note for note perfect. I loved his relationship with Offred, and at some point you're like, oh, he's not that bad of a guy, but then you realize he's a terrible dude. And she needs him though in a way, and she plays him. Really is the weakest character in the show, and he does that so well because he's so evil, he puts his foot down, but at the same time he's so weak and really not that big of a threat. And again, I can't say enough about Serena Joy. I love a good villain, and she played it really well where she's so nice to Offred one moment when it's benefiting her, and the minute it's not, she's horrible to Offred, and she played that convincingly because you can mess that up. You can make that not believable, so it's a very challenging role to do. I don't think anyone could have done it better. And she has a perfect face for it too, where she's like super pretty, but she's like really not on the inside and really taller than Offred. So again, casted perfectly. Then you feel bad for her points because her husband's really bad too, and you don't because she's awful too. And her character is so complicated, and you see in the flashbacks, I want to know more about that because before this all even came about, she was a big proponent of it, but she seemed way more normal. So how did she get this crazy, and what is her true real backstory to become these beliefs and really be anti-woman when she's a woman herself? So very interesting to say the least, and I hope season 2 they keep going into her and the commander's backstory. I just really want to know what the hell goes on in Serena Joy's head. The rape scenes here were really hard to watch. Janine was getting raped by that new commander she had. Really made you feel what they were all feeling inside when she kind of acted it out. Seeing scenes like that, this felt like the show that American Horror Story should have been. It's a good version of that concept where this is a true horror story. This is something that could happen, and it is deep, it's heavy. It's not for the faint of heart, this show. Again, the title not doing it any justice of what it actually is. So I hope this gets to the right audience. Had to love Maria, the Friends character. I love that actress too. She was really awesome, had great chemistry with Elisabeth Moss. She was really easy to root for and was that like strong rock for Elisabeth Moss, and then it kind of reversed the roles, which was awesome, and they both kind of bring out the best in each other. Definitely that girl power vibe, really well done. The music choice here was excellent. They didn't use too much songs that everyone knows. They were just perfect songs for the feel. Some modern music as well, because it is modern times. And the score was really good. It kept that creepy suspense vibe going the whole time. And I would say there wasn't one dud of an episode. Very phenomenal first season. I had some down spots, particularly the husband, Luke. Thought his character was a little vanilla. I don't know if I want to blame the actor for that, but he came off sketchy to me in the beginning and mysterious, but that never came of anything. And you kind of realize he is just a good guy. So I didn't get why it was portrayed like that. I thought maybe it was a miscast here. Not really sure. Or maybe it was the actor's fault. If someone read the book, you can comment below. Did it seem just like the husband from the book? Was he more enjoyable in the book? I don't know. That was the vibe I got. Please give me your opinion down below. And what really made me cringe was in the middle of the season when Offred sees the carving on the closet that encourages her, that's in Latin. At the end of that episode, they do that little montage where she's walking with the handmaids down the street and she's confident. It's that like nasty woman thing. But it's so cheesy and it doesn't fit the vibe of the show. Like, it steps out and becomes meme bait, and oh, they just want that to be shared on the internet, that little clip of her, and like people going, yes, girl, like, that wasn't necessary. It was just, didn't feel like the rest of the show, so I didn't really like that. And they did it again after the stoning scene, which was excellent, where they didn't stone Janine, and they had to again have a shower. She's walking down the road, and we're tough, blah, 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 blah. Very corny. I already know she's tough. I know they're tough. Keep it in the tone. I don't know why they have to keep doing that. And I wasn't crazy about Moria running all the way from Boston to Canada. That was a little bit of a stretch for me, especially because it's like the middle of winter. We don't see how she gets there alive and eating food, and she really didn't have any obstacles in the way that we know of. We didn't see. Like, there's got to be guards she's passing. How'd she know how to get there exactly? And I don't like that she ended up in Canada with Luke. I think it should have just been him there, because her strength in season 1 as a character was her rebellious attitude towards anything that came her way, and she was really awesome to watch in Gilead, and even in that whorehouse. Her in Canada now is going to take that part of her away, I feel. It's going to make her more of just trying to save people down there, but she can't be in the middle of the action, which worries me a bit. I'm not crazy about her getting there. And at first I wasn't crazy about the driver, Nick. I was worried that he was your classic hunk, no personality guy from a chick flick, but his backstory helped change that a bit, and I like the mystery to him, so I got it. I got his character as we went on, and he grew on me for sure. And they left on his character great, because he comes and says, Offred, trust me, puts him in the back. That's how the book ends. We'll see if it turns out being the Mayday group she's going with or someone bad. But overall, I'm going to give this season a solid 9. I really enjoyed it. Every episode was great to me. As it goes as a whole, compared to other shows I've watched this year, it's just above Leftover Season 3 as my top show for the year. Really am for Season 2 in April. I'll be covering every episode of that. I'm a little worried about Season 2 because the book has been covered. So now we're going into the show writer territory. Well, let's hope they can live up to this story here and keep it going interesting. I think they set it up well for future seasons, but you never know. So next season is going to be a very important season in telling if this show has legs or not. But overall, this season was done excellent. It's so enjoyable even as its own standalone thing. So even if season 2 doesn't come out that great, this will always be something to go down in history as an incredible season and story. But before I go, my question for you guys is, who is your favorite character of the show? I'm torn. I would say my 2 favorites in a tie are Janine, because I love the whole eyeball thing she's got going. She's crazy, she's interesting, and she's full of every emotion. She was played so well, and she's always steals the scene for me. And of course, you could tell in the review, I keep talking about Serena Joy. I love her. I thought she was an awesome villain. I'm a sucker for great villains, and she stole the show for me altogether. So she's probably my favorite by a bit. So let me know who your favorite character was down below. I'm really interested to hear this, and we can debate it out. I respond to everybody, and let me know why they're your favorite. So again, I'll be covering every episode of Season 2 of Handmaid's Tale. So please subscribe. I do other TV reviews, movie reviews, trailer reactions, celebrity interviews, you name it. Follow me at SteveVarley1 on Twitter and Instagram for more, and keep coming back.